When rumors about Will and Jada being swingers who dated other swingers started circulating, people were worried about the well-being of their kids, Willow and Jaden, and knew that it was only a matter of time before they broke their silence about the numerous affairs threatening to destroy their family. Well, it turns out those fans were right, because Willow is finally firing back at her parents, and she is blaming them for almost destroying her life with their selfish needs. Okay, now, y'all know that if there is one Hollywood family that knows how to start up a storm with their oversharing, it's the Smiths. I mean, this family has been in the news for almost everything from open marriages to entanglements and to headline-making slaps. This family is always in the news for something scandalous, and it looks like they won't be stopping anytime soon. Because according to news sources, there might be some truth to the wild accusations that both Will and Jada are into bisexual swinger relationships.
They're both bisexual, they do weird things in their house, and young men have left their house fucking screaming to get away from them in their mentorship.
If you followed the Smiths over the years, especially Will and Jada, then you know that they've denied every single allegation leveled against them when it comes to their sexuality. And I do understand the needs for privacy, but Will and Jada have continuously invited the public into their marital affairs. Like there was that time that Jada denied ever being into August and said the rumors were absolutely not true, even after he openly claimed that they were once an item. And it wasn't until Will called her out publicly that she admitted that she dated August and had been in a relationship with him ever since she met him at her son's concert.
Yeah, and then I got into an entanglement with August. That's what I said.
An entanglement?
Yes.
And this seems to be a trend with Jada, who once denied that she was bisexual.
Is the craziest rumor that Will and I are swingers. That's the craziest.
Wasn't that kind of recent, actually?
Then later confessed that she wouldn't mind getting with a woman and have been infatuated by women in the past, even though she couldn't be with them romantically.
Yeah, I've had 2 times I've been like infatuated with a woman.
Really?
Yes.
And as for Will, he's had his own fair share of bisexual rumors. And it started when he starred in 6 Degrees of Separation in '93 as a gay con artist, which was really his breakout role, but chickened out of kissing his co-star, Anthony Hall, in a particular scene because he was scared of what was going to be said about him amongst his close circle back in Philly. And I'm like, if he genuinely was straight, a scene in the movie wouldn't exactly steal that away from him, because at the end of the day, it's acting and work. But then again, Hollywood wasn't as accommodating to homosexual actors as it is now. But it didn't stop there. In 2013, there were allegations that Will and his best friend, Dwayne Martin, were really lovers. And this particular rumor started because, according to an insider, Will preferred to spend time with Dwayne and go on exotic vacations with him than to spend time with Jada, Jaden, and Willow. And if my math is correct, this was around the same time when Will and Jada were going through a temporary separation, and everyone around them was convinced that their marriage was over. And at the time, Dwayne's wife, Tisha, also raised concerns that ever since she's been married to Dwayne, he has constantly been accused of being gay. And in 2020, Tisha hinted that WillSmith was having relations with her ex-husband, Dwayne Martin, when she published an Instagram post with an image that read, "The truth always comes out in the end, no matter how hard anyone tries to hide it." And she also wrote in the comments, "And you're right, they will lie to the end. The real kiki is, people will stop believing them." I don't know about y'all, but her putting Will in caps seemed pretty sus to me. But Dwayne isn't the only bisexual guy that Smith has been entangled with. It turns out that August may also be bisexual, as he seemed to come out with a cryptic message last November. So while August was reflecting on the time he spent on the Surreal Life reality show and how it changed him, he admitted to being a better person thanks to his partner, Zaza, who was helping him to redefine love.
Because it defies all the constructs that one would say love is supposed to be or love should look like.
Now, as you guessed, This video had the fans in a chokehold, and some even had to call him out for setting up the video in a way where it could be interpreted to mean anything. But if the tenderness and intimacy in this video are anything to go by, then it might be a very romantic relationship. But how are Jaden and Willow taking the news of their parents' dark relationships being exposed? Well, before I get into that, I just want to point out that the Smiths have always had a very different dynamic from what most fans perceive to be normal. And once, when Will was on the Red Table Talk show, he openly admitted that he was ready to break up with Jada if she used cuss words.
If you have to talk to me like that, we can't be together.
Wow.
And I think that since Will is so obsessed about showing his kids what a healthy relationship and family dynamic looks like, then he'd be more careful about what is leaked to the media. But neither Will nor Jada seems to mind about that. And Jaden probably saw through all of their posturings. That's why from so early, he's been so focused on putting a healthy distance between himself and his parents' mess. And in case you somehow forgot, it back when Jaden was only 15, he filed for emancipation and insisted that he wanted to be legally free of his parents.
Every child needs something different.
Yeah.
At 15 years old, Jaden, and I remember this day specifically, it was probably one of the most heartbreaking moments of my life. You got to a point where you told me straight up, you were like, Mom, I have to leave here to live my life.
Totally.
And this is just so crazy because emancipation is something that underprivileged and abused kids seek. Jaden has also never commented on his parents' issues in public. Willow, on the other hand, seems to be really invested in her parents' relationship and can't seem to compartmentalize the way Jaden does. Even when she was a little child, she took Jada's unhappiness and dissatisfaction with her marriage personally. So when Willow was about 13 years old, she wrote a letter to Tupac about her mother's unhappiness. Now, y'all know Pac and Jada were quite close before his demise. And I guess that's why Willow wrote to him, because she couldn't bear to see her mom unhappy and thought Pac might be the key to solving that. She wrote, "Dear Tupac, I know you are alive someplace. I think that my mommy really misses you. Can you please come back so mommy and me can be happy?" And even Will admitted that Willow once screamed at him to fix their marriage up after he snapped at Jada in front of her.
I snapped in front of Willow. It was the only time in her childhood she ever saw me snap. And I saw her look, and Willow starts crying, and I was like, baby, I'm sorry. She's like, just figure it out. You guys, please just figure it out. Just figure it out.
And while this is quite emotional, that wasn't the last time she shared her thoughts about her parents' marriage. Will, in an interview with Zane Lowe on Apple Music, confided that she has always felt a huge pressure when growing up to always do right by her parents and be perfect for them. And when she was like really young, she started cutting herself up and watching adult content to cope with all the mess. And guess what? Jada knew it all along. But now that Willow is all grown up, she seems to be understanding the family dynamics. Last year, while promoting her album, Willow told The Independent that she didn't mind that her parents overshared personal stuff with their fans. She said, "Everyone is going through something, and the biggest disservice you could do to yourself and others is to put up a facade and be like, that's not the case here. That sounds wrong to me." She also added that she understood that her parents are their own people and that they are free to do what they want. She said, "A lot of kids think of their parents like, your whole identity is for me. But seeing them in this lifestyle we had, from a very young age, it was clear to me they weren't just my parents. They're full other people who have their own emotions." Willow has also openly stated that she is polyamorous and wouldn't mind dating a guy and a gal at the same time as long as it was consensual. Looks like she was taking a note right out of her parents' marriage book. Anyway, fans are weighing in on Willow's comments on her parents' marriage, and some are applauding it for being very progressive, and some are just saying that Will and Jada's shenanigans completely ruined their daughter. One person said, "Willow cutting herself and Jaden asking to be emancipated are two red flags that the kids couldn't handle their parenting style. And it's not only Jada to blame, it's Will's fault too." Another person said, "I honestly feel really bad for their kids. Jada doesn't treat them like they're her children. She treats them more like distant friends or just strangers in general. She's not only narcissistic and manipulative, but she's also an emotionally abandoning mother and wife. Every time something was going on between that family, even the most most personal things, she was always broadcasting it for the whole world to see, or she posts about it even if it's towards her own kids or her own husband, which she obviously can talk to them in person. While this other user said, Jaden and Willow Smith are what black kids can be when their parents liberate and encourage them to be who they want to be, instead of constantly being molded into what the parent wants them to be. But now it's over to you guys. Do you believe that Jada and Willow are the best role models for Willow and Jaden, or do you think they should do better? Let your thoughts be known in the comments, and I'll see y'all in my next video.